What's up, homies? And by homies, I mean my 1 subscriber and 2 followers. Welcome to another episode. What's up, homies? And by homies, I mean my 1 subscriber and 2 followers. Welcome to another episode of BlakeWoodLIVE. So in today's episode, I answer the question, why France? Also, check this out. Bamboo! The first reason is the climate. This is a fall day, it's like 19 degrees, and it hasn't even hit noon yet. What the hell is that? Have you ever seen that before? I hate winter, but I love having 4 seasons, and the coldest it gets here is about 0 degrees. One of the first things you'll notice about coming to France is that everyone greets each other with a kiss. Depending on where you are, this could be 1, 2, 3, or even 4 kisses. It's very confusing, so they have a website telling you by region what the custom is. I'm still getting used to the kiss thing, but I kind of like it because there's no way in hell you're going to kiss someone you don't like. So this prevents a lot of fake relationships, a lot of hanging out with people that you kind of just feel like you have to even though you don't really want to. And it immediately breaks the invisible wall that we have up between interacting with our fellow humans. The rent is way cheaper than in Toronto. And the people are super nice, super friendly. And there's just a more feel of community here as well. A typical breakfast in France is basically a croissant and a coffee, and sometimes an orange juice, or sometimes it's bread with jam and a coffee. Carpaccio from one of my clients' restaurants. So it's typical in France to have an appetizer followed by a main course, which they don't call an entree, they call a plate. An entree is actually the appetizer. They also focus more on cooking the food perfectly rather than adding a lot of spices or sauces to bring out the flavor. I also get asked what I don't like about France a lot, and the one thing that's been really hard to get used to is the size of their coffees. It's like a shot glass. The French are also big on desserts, and this is called the Café Gourmand. You get to have all the desserts if you can't choose with a tiny coffee. Another thing that's quite different about France is that there's no mounts for these shower heads. They're just disconnected like this, and there's nothing on the wall to hold them up. I guess this is kind of a neutral point because at first I really hated it, but now I'm really efficient with my water usage in the shower. Basically, I turn the water off when I'm putting the soap on or not rinsing my hair. So it's kind of been a beneficial thing for the planet. Another thing I don't like about France is that you see a lot of homeless people. And not just people, but children. Homeless children. Obviously I didn't take a video of this because that would be super rude. In France, they still use their phones as phones. They would rather call each other than text like we do in America. It's kind of weird, but French is a really complicated language, so I guess it makes sense. French phone numbers come in 2-digit pairs, not like the 3 and 4 that the American phone numbers come in. It's really weird to get used to. And they have a really strange ring. Like, it sounds basically like what it sounds like when you get the dial tone in America for not being connected. So for a long time, I thought my phone wasn't working. It kind of sounds like this. Another thing I love about France and Europe in general is that it's old. All these gorgeous old buildings. Ultimately, I wanted to move to a new country where no one spoke the language to grow as a person. I wanted to work on my artwork without the influence of all the noise of the industry in Toronto, where everyone's telling you what you have to do, how you have to advertise yourself, you have to constantly be advertising yourself. It's just so exhausting, and I felt like the more social media I was using, the less me I was becoming. And I also had some life goals, which I realized weren't going to happen in the time span that I wanted them to happen in, based on my career projections. So I figured if I was going to get stuck at the bottom, I might as well get stuck at the bottom in a place that I really love. I first came to France in November, and I just fell in love with the country. I've now been here 4 times in the last 6 months. Saving money in France or rather in euros, will be much more beneficial than saving money in Canadian dollars, because the Canadian currency is kind of weak. Also, dating culture here is way different. And if you've ever lived in Toronto, you know dating sucks balls. Maybe I'll make another video about dating in France. But for now, that's all. See you later, guys.